CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A large fire broke out at an industrial site near the Easy Row Expressway earlier this evening. Crews were on scene for hours to keep the fire from spreading to hazardous materials. CTV's Robert Lothian is back from the scene. Robert, what do we know so far?
Stefanie, crews responded to what's believed to be a concrete facility on North Service Road East near Central Avenue. A large fire creating mass amounts of smoke required a sizable response from emergency responders.
Anytime you have a large-scale fire like that or in a large-scale complex, I think if you look at the pictures that are fanning out there from the road, you could see it looks very significant.
Crews responded to the scene around 6 o'clock to find a vehicle on fire directly beside an industrial building. A large response needed to fight the fire included as many as 10 Windsor fire vehicles. Crews brought the fire under control and say nobody was injured. The cause currently remains under investigation. Posts on social media reported large plumes of smoke rising over the nearby expressway and catching the eyes of many residents across the city. Making this response more complex, Windsor Fire Chief Jamie Waffle says, was the other potential fire risks on site, including chemicals as well as a diesel tank.
Anytime we're at an industrial complex, there's always the risk of potential chemicals or propane tanks or acetylene tanks. So, yeah, we certainly were using caution with the extent of the fire at the initial phases. At this point, we don't know if any of those things have been involved, but those are certainly precautions we take.
Despite the fire being under control, you shouldn't be surprised to see emergency responders still on site. Waffle says some crews will continue working to eliminate any remaining hot spots that could risk reigniting the fire. Stefanie.
Okay, Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Thank you, Robert. Now time is of the essence when first responders are driving to these such emergencies. The Windsor Police Association says some of its officers have received red light camera tickets during these calls. Officials are now calling for a fair review process. Both city leaders maintain the system is fair and prioritizes public safety. Bob Belichico reports.
No one at the police service is looking to go out and be punitive to the officers who are doing their jobs.
Mayor Drew Dilkin speaking on AM 800 Tuesday morning, responding to questions about how red light camera tickets are handled when on-duty police officers are caught entering intersections against the red light. The Windsor Police Association says some officers feel they shouldn't be penalized when responding to emergency calls.
They determine who was driving in that vehicle, and then at that time they issue that officer the measure of discipline through the directive.
EMS and Windsor Fire follow similar guidelines. Windsor Fire has an internal review process if a vehicle is caught going through a red light.
There has been one on our small fleet of somebody on, we call that, late duties that did run a red light, and they paid the ticket themselves.
None of the large fire trucks have received a red light ticket so far, meaning the full review process hasn't yet been triggered. For Windsor Police, Chief Jason Crowley says these infractions are rare, just 4 in all of 2025. Union President Kent Rice says officers are frustrated and want a fair review process.
The police service just automatically pays the infraction. And that's regardless of what the information was said about, red lights being on or anything like that.
Chief Crowley points to the Highway Traffic Act, which requires emergency vehicles to come to a complete stop before proceeding through a red light, even with lights and sirens activated.
If they don't do any of that, particularly the stopping part, they're going to get a ticket for it. It's as simple as that. This law is about public safety and looking out for the community.
Police officers are docked 6 hours of pay for a first offense, which stays on their record for 2 years and can affect promotions and assignments.
The service pays the offense violation immediately and eliminates them having due process. They're robbed of that fundamental.
Rice says he plans to meet Chief Crowley to discuss the issue. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Windsor police have once again raided an illegal magic mushroom shop downtown. Move the owners say marks the 14th raid and the final straw. This time, police allege they found not only psychedelics, but crystal meth. CTV's Travis Fortnum reports.
After yet another police raid, the operators of an illegal psilocybin dispensary in Windsor say they are finally shutting the doors. A Fun Guy spokesperson identifying himself only as David telling CTV News, "We're very, very upset, terribly upset about this. This is very, very out of hand." Upset, he says, because of what police allege they seized in the most recent raid, which police call the 9th, but Fun Guys says is the 14th since opening in 2023. When they went in on Friday, investigators allege they seized more than 9 grams of crystal meth. Fun Guys has long said it supports the legalization of psilocybin, arguing it should be used responsibly, including by people seeking relief from PTSD and depression, even as research continues. But the presence of methamphetamine, the company says, crosses a line. Fun Guys is all about health and helping people that are in need. The spokesperson says, "The last thing that we want is to be selling something that extreme that kills people." Police also say LSD was seized, something David acknowledges Fun Guys does sell, but he claims the meth was brought in by a rogue employee, saying frequent raids have made it difficult to keep reliable staff. He also alleges when police execute search warrants, they seize surveillance equipment, leaving staff unmonitored for weeks at a time. What the cops are doing, David says, they're making us unable to make sure the stores run properly. I mean, they're doing their jobs, we're trying to do our job.
I'm sure police are frustrated with the whole thing.
CTV public safety analyst Chris Lewis says repeat raids are costly.
You just don't go into a place with one officer and a flashlight. You have to have a number of officers to execute a warrant. So it is resource intensive.
Fun Guys ownership has told CTV Windsor before that the store would close, but it didn't. This time, David says the alleged meth seizure changes everything. He says Fun Guys altogether have been through 160 to 170 raids across all locations, and not once have ever been anything like that. This is the first time that has happened. Windsor police say the investigation is ongoing. The employee charged has not yet had the allegations tested in court. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
A truck driver has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for driving $5.4 million worth of cocaine across the Ambassador Bridge into Canada. 43-year-old Jasbir Singh from Paris, Ontario, previously pleaded guilty to a single charge. Court heard that in April of 2023, officers found 60 kilograms of cocaine in his truck, 40 bricks in plain sight and 20 more hidden under the bunk bed. Singh is described as the courier, not a leader, and received credit for his guilty plea and remorse. Justice Howard says without the importer, there would be no harm, but Singh must now begin serving his sentence. An American witness has just taken the stand, the first to do so in the trial of 2 Essex County men accused in a nearly 3-year-old shooting. Court heard the pair allegedly assaulted someone and fired a handgun in a non-fatal incident that is now before the jury. CTV's Michelle Molesky files this report.
On May 13, 2023, Windsor police executed a high-risk takedown of a white limousine at Erie and Olette. They had reason to believe the people in the limo or associated with it were involved in a shooting just up the street. Today in Superior Court, the victim, who is now 23 years old, told the jury he tried to stop a fight out front of an Olette Avenue nightclub. They said they were going to blow my brains out, the man told the jury. He recalls seeing a green laser coming from the gun before he was struck in the head with the gun, and then he was shot in the foot. The victim testified he was also kicked in the head. The Crown believes the shooter was Ezekiel Thompson, and the man who kicked the victim was Silbert Karen. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Both men have pleaded not guilty to more than half a dozen charges, including weapon offenses and assault. A jury of 9 women and 4 men learned Tuesday, 1 hour before the shooting, a nightclub security guard tried to pat down Karen before letting him in. Karen refused to show what he was hiding in his waistband, so he was told to leave. The Crown says they plan to show various surveillance and eyewitness videos to the jury in the coming days. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
A new report shows Canada's auto industry looks very different than it did a decade ago, and Windsor Essex is right at the center of that shift. Japanese automakers are expanding while U.S.-based plants are increasingly sitting idle. Here's CTV's Sanjay Mara.
Windsor Assembly. It's the heartbeat of this region's auto sector, but new data suggests the industry behind it is changing fast. A report from the Trillium Network for Advanced Manufacturing shows vehicle production in Canada has been cut nearly in half over the past decade. Much of that decline is tied to U.S.-based automakers, the Detroit Big Three, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, whose share of Canadian production has fallen sharply, leaving communities like Windsor-Essex especially exposed.
It's a shame, to be quite frank with you, because we've got a long history with the Detroit Three. And to watch jobs leave this country, and you look at what we've done, is so disappointing.
The shift has played out across Ontario. 700 jobs recently cut in Oshawa, electric van production ending in Ingersoll, and retooling work paused at Stellantis' Brampton plant.
When you look at all of that, of course, manufacturing in the short term in the last few years has been down, but it's been falling prior to that because of the presence of Mexico being a cheaper jurisdiction to do business. So I'm not particularly surprised by the numbers.
The report points to idle and underutilized assembly plants as a major drag on productivity, a challenge workers in Windsor know all too well following repeated shutdowns.
All it takes is one decision on the other side of the border, and the next thing, we are the Cami plant, or we are the Oshawa plant, or we are the Brampton assembly plant. And I think the government is starting to recognize it, and that's why they've got a policy that they're talking about. Hopefully it's substantial.
Industry Minister Melanie Joly has said the Canadian government is putting together a strategy to support the nation's auto workers amid job losses and punishing tariffs from the U.S. Meanwhile, Japan-based automakers Honda and Toyota have kept production steady in Canada and now build more vehicles here than U.S.-based automakers combined, a shift the report calls the most significant cultural change in decades.
Honda vehicles sell really well on both sides of the border, so they need a lot of them, and they're churning them out. That's really the only reason. They haven't shut down for retooling. They haven't been hit that hard by tariffs. They remain popular vehicles, so of course they'll be building them.
In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
The City of Windsor's Development and Heritage Standing Committee has approved a rezoning application for land at the corner of Howard Avenue and Ottawa Street. A developer is proposing a 4-story apartment building with 25 residential units and 25 parking spaces. Now, because of the lot's irregular shape, the project includes reduced setback requirements. City planners told the committee the development fits the area's mixed-use designation and is not expecting to strain existing infrastructure. No residents spoke in opposition during the public consultation process. The proposal now heads to City Council for final approval. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, a couple ponies on the loose made for an interesting commute in Alberta. It will be a cold morning tomorrow. Gary Archibald joining us now with his full forecast. Gary.
Hi, Stephanie. You're right about that. Chilly tomorrow morning. Wind chill values yet again. Very cold. And temperatures been again below seasonal across the region. The cold air is in place. It's being reinforced by the northerly and northwesterly wind. Of late, the computer models suggesting we're projecting minus 15 to minus 17 wind chill, say around rush hour early morning, right? 8 a.m., 7:38 a.m. This spin of low pressure reinforced the cold, and across the region, some lake-enhanced snow across Georgian Bay, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, even Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. It's the northwesterly setup. It is the ideal setup for lake-effect snow and for parts of upper Michigan through Michigan State proper and southern Ontario. That's where we get plentiful snow. The break that we're going to see will bring some sunshine. We'll see some partly cloudy conditions on Wednesday. In fact, some areas will see sunny conditions through the mid-morning. And then we have to watch out for this westerly band of snow headed towards us late, I would say, in the afternoon Thursday. Could pick up steam. A little bit more definition with this area of low pressure could bring anywhere from 2 to 5 centimeters of snowfall. Right now, over the next 24 hours, we're into the scattered flurries. They persist, and it's only upwards of about a centimeter. Off to oftentimes the models may suggest a lot more than what's likely to fall, especially when a system is starting to break down and we're seeing one evacuating our airspace. I think we'll just see very light, scattered flurries across the region. But I did mention it's going to be cold, and I think the wind chill value of -19 is a very real possibility coming in, say, at around 4 or 5 a.m. By 7:38, it's still going to feel like about -17 at least. And by the way, that overnight temperature of -15 is very cold. We would normally average -8. And speaking of a cold morning, but look at the sunshine mixed in with fair weather cloud. It's not a bad day after all. We'll see a high of -6 in the late afternoon. Take a look at our 7-day forecast. Thursday into Friday, increasing cloudiness, 2 to 5 centimeters of snow Friday, a high of +2. And then it just gets colder. Saturday into Sunday, into the minuses, especially in the early mornings, minus double digits. Snow on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, -1, -3, respectively. Cloudy and then fair weather. Those temperatures are more seasonal for this time of the year. Let's look at your weather.
Canadians are heartbroken for a town in Alberta, a tight-knit community mourning the loss of 3 young hockey players. The teens were on their way to practice when a small passenger car collided with a gravel truck. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee.
The population of Staveley is just over 500 people. It's one of those small southern Alberta towns where everybody knows everybody, and the deaths of these 3 young players has really hit this community hard. This is a memorial outside the Staveley Agricultural Society, the arena where the Southern Alberta Mustangs played. The jerseys of 17-year-old Caden Fine, who is from Birmingham, Alabama, and 18-year-old JJ Wright and Cameron Casorso, both from Kamloops, BC, have been laid out. Community members have been dropping by, lighting candles, dropping off flowers, and paying tribute to the 3 players.
It broke my heart to find out that these hockey players, so young, with bright futures, lost their lives so young.
These kids become part of our family. Yes, they're part of the community, but they're also part of our families too.
The crash happened yesterday morning as the players were on their way to practice when they collided with a semi-truck pulling gravel. This was just outside of the town on a major highway in southern Alberta. RCMP said this morning the investigation is still ongoing, but do not believe this is criminal in nature.
That passenger vehicle would have had to come across 2 lanes of Highway 2 to get into the median, and then proceed across the other 2 lanes to get into that entrance to Staveley.
RCMP say the driver of the semi is okay. Some community members have complained about the dangers of the intersection in the past. The team did release a statement saying they are family, and right now their family is hurting. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Staveley, Alberta.
Another landlord has filed a lawsuit against Toys R Us, terminating the retailer's lease because of unpaid rent. A court filing says the officials with the toy store chain didn't pay rent last month for a space at one of their Toronto shopping centers. According to the landlord, they were warned the lease would be terminated without payment, following through on the threat last month. Dozens of Toys R Us locations have closed in recent months amid lawsuits from at least 7 landlords. Canada's main stock index rose as the price of gold regained some of its recent losses. In Toronto, the TSX gained 205 points. In New York, the Dow fell 167, the Nasdaq lost 337. The Canadian dollar added 0.13 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold is up $282 an ounce and oil gained $107 a barrel. A new study on Canadian heart disease suggests, as a country, we aren't doing enough to stay healthy. With more on the research and what can be done to reverse the trend, here's CTV's Heather Wright.
What started as mild heartburn suddenly became much more serious for Elena Trainoff.
I woke up one night in the middle of the night with crushing chest pain, and even then I thought, I'm too young for this to be a heart situation.
At just 40 years old, Trainoff had 100% blockage of one artery and partial blockage of 2 others. She was taken in for emergency surgery. Nearly 11 years later, Trainoff credits changes to her lifestyle for keeping her healthy.
I quit smoking, I lost weight, I changed my eating habits, I radically reduced the amount of stress that I was under.
According to a new report from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, 9 in every 10 Canadians have at least one risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Lifestyle risks include smoking, poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, and lack of physical activity. And while some risk factors like genetics, gender, age, and air pollution can't be changed, experts say 80% of premature heart disease can be prevented with lifestyle changes.
We're surrounded by unhealthy food options. We aren't as physically active as we once were. Most people work in sedentary jobs. So for those reasons, it can be more difficult, and we have to make conscious effort to live healthfully.
And while some risk factors, like smoking, are declining, others are on the rise. For example, 1 in 4 grade 12 students say they vape, while the number of Canadian adults living with high blood pressure has increased every year since 2000. While the death rate from heart disease and stroke has decreased by about 80% over the last 70 years, these diseases still cause 1 in every 5 deaths in Canada. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A new program at Windsor Regional Hospital is helping patients recover at home instead of returning to the ER. As CTV's Chris Campbell shows us, for one local family, the hospital-to-home program has made all the difference.
The goal is simple: help patients heal where they feel most comfortable. And hospital officials say early results show the hospital-to-home program is doing exactly that. For Chuck Davis, bringing his wife Doris home from hospital was both a relief and a worry. After weeks in care for low blood pressure and repeated falls, he wasn't sure how they'd manage on their own. Then the hospital-to-home program stepped in.
It's allowed us to transition at home. It's given Doris an opportunity to just improve at home.
Through the program, nurses, therapists, and personal support workers came directly to their house, helping make it safer and easier for Doris to recover.
We had to make some improvements. We put some bars to hold on to in case she fell. When I did get her home, it just made me feel like we weren't abandoned.
The initiative, run by Windsor Regional Hospital and St. Elizabeth Health, otherwise known as SE Health, provides up to 16 weeks of wraparound services, starting almost immediately after discharge.
From the time that you leave the hospital, we already have your 72-hour care plan that's already been formulated, and the service providers will be there within that 24 hours.
For caregivers like Chuck, that quick support is critical.
Oh, it was great for me because I'm the only caregiver for her, and it's helped me.
SE Health says the model brings an entire care team into the home, focused on keeping patients independent and out of hospital.
We're able to get them home. We're able to meet their needs on a daily basis, bring in the whole interprofessional team. And it's really about the patient, the caregiver at the end of the day.
Since launching in October, 115 patients have been enrolled, a number expected to double by spring. Local MPP Andrew Dowie says the nearly $2 million program benefits both families and the health system.
Not only is it the most cost-effective option to be treated at home, it's also the most comfortable option and is where people want to be.
Officials say programs like this help free up hospital beds and reduce repeat ER visits.
We just think it's wonderful.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
A remarkable story of survival and courage in Australia, where a 13-year-old boy swam for hours to get help for his family who were swept out to sea.
I think at one point I was thinking of Thomas the Tank Engine, trying to get the happiest things in my head.
It took 4 hours for Austin Appleby to reach shore, while his mother, brother, and sister clung to 2 paddle boards. Their oars lost, drifting 14 kilometers into open water.
I had to untie the life jacket and I had to just swim to shore.
Austin initially took an inflatable kayak, but as it took on water, he abandoned it and his life jacket and swam the last 4 kilometers, which took 2 hours. Once on land, Austin called for help and his family was rescued. The family and Austin were taken to hospital and later released. NASA has announced a substantial delay to the Artemis II moon mission, pushing back London astronaut Jeremy Hansen's trip into space. Critical fuel test was carried out yesterday, which failed. NASA officials say there were multiple fuel leaks, announcing a new launch day for March 6th at the earliest. However, they say it may not happen until April. So Hansen and the 3 other crew members will have to move out of quarantine for the time being. NASA officials say they reviewed the data before trying another fuel test. Gary joins us one last time for a final look at the weather.
Steph, I think it's going to be cold tomorrow morning, as mentioned. I think the flurries are subsiding as I speak, and that's good news. We've seen light dusting to upwards of about 3, almost 4 centimeters in some areas of southwestern Ontario over the last day and a half. Now we're looking at a cold start towards tomorrow morning, say around 4 a.m. It feels like minus 21, going up to a high under a mixture of fair weather cloud and some sunny breaks of minus 6 in the afternoon. Cloudy on Thursday, a bit of a break there, minus 5, but the morning's still chilly. Lows in the minus mid-teens. Snow 2 to 5 centimeters projected on Friday. High +2. It's likely to be wet snow. And then getting colder for the weekend, minus 8 followed by minus 3. Flurries and or snow maybe sticking to the ground, especially Sunday morning. Monday, Tuesday, back to more seasonal values, cloudy and then fair, minus 1 and minus 3. Have a look. Cement that into your minds. That's the weather, how it's unfolding the next 7 days. Do have yourselves a good night.
We leave you tonight with a couple of ponies on the loose, which made for an interesting commute yesterday in St. Albert, Alberta. Police say the animals escaped when their gate was left open, entertaining local drivers as they trotted down city streets.
And then these 2 sweet little ponies come running out of nowhere, having obviously the best morning of their life.
The city says officers were able to corral the ponies into a parking lot where the owner arrived and loaded them into a trailer, of course, unharmed. That's your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you right back here tomorrow.